Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Nyree and I'm running a channel all about adoption family life with tips, advice, support. And I have tried every which way to do these videos, but actually what I think is best is if I just chat naturally to you. I have my list of things here and it's probably going to be really useful for you to go and get a pen and paper and make some notes. So we're going to look at what the obvious issues could be with adopting an older child or teenager and the things that you might have to consider. What are the positives about adopting an older child or teenager? And then we're going to look at how you would help them in the future and the types of things that would be really satisfying when you're taking an older child on. The things that you can do with an older child that perhaps you can't do with a younger child. Let's just get straight into it. So they've already got their own identity. Now I know every child does, but they've already kind of worked out their identity more and they're going to know how they want to be viewed as themselves perhaps more and have more of a history there that's within their memory, within their mind. And so they're being asked to unravel some of that when they move to a new family, and that's going to be quite difficult for them. They're going to more likely test the boundaries. I mean, if anybody has had older children, that they'll know that older children as they reach teenage years like to test the boundaries because they're thinking about how they want to be as an adult and they're thinking about your parenting and how you are, and they're being influenced by peers as well. So they're going to push those boundaries maybe harder than a younger child. Of course, it's going to depend on your adoption and who you're adopting, because that's not always the case. They will probably want more control of situations because they are able to reflect back on things, and this is going to cause them a lot of struggles with their memories. They're going to find it hard sometimes to break free with some of those memories, so they're probably going to want to control and battle against you more and maybe not want you to take control. They may have unspent anger. So all of these things are mays actually. I'm saying that it may, these things may be the case. It may not be the case at all, but may have unspent anger, and as they learn to trust you more, then this anger will need to go somewhere and you might be the one to be there to receive it. That is actually a positive thing if you think about it, because then they've got someone they can trust to do that with. But it's not very nice to be on the receiving end of anger, particularly when it's an older child, and it can be a little bit scary as well. And then of course there could be lots of rejection and hurt from the fact that they can no longer be with their birth family or even no longer be with their foster family. They may well have had lots of moving around, and that causes a huge amount of rejection to be from different homes. And being in the care system for a long time, the chances are they would have had several moves. So how do they know that you will be any different from what they've experienced before? They may have some ingrained behaviours that will never go because they've developed over time, and they may have developed some behaviours that are quite difficult for you to manage, and it might well be that you're not going to be able to kind of eradicate those behaviours. So I guess that's some of the more negative things. I'm just going to take a break here and say that if you've not subscribed to my channel and you think that I'm going to help you with your adoption family, your adoptive pathway, then please take the time to subscribe. It's blowing a gale outside, so apologise for any kind of interruptions from the noise. Let's get on and think about the howevers. So those are the negatives if you want to look at it that way, but the howevers. An older child is going to know how they need to be accepted. They're going to be able to reason that through, and so they're going to hopefully want to be accepted by a family that are going to be there for them. They're going to be their roots, a place to call their own, a family that can hug and hold them when they need that reassurance, people to cry with them, listen to them, love them. And I think that an older child and a teenager can reflect on that need more than a younger child. So if they decide that they want you, if they decide they want to be accepted by you, then that acceptance will be all embracing. And then neuroscience, yes, we love a little bit of neuroscience. So basically neuroscience is about the brain. And talking about the brain, question for you guys: go with the grey or keep dyeing my hair every 3 to 4 weeks? So I'm over 50 now, so it's like, do I go with the grey You can leave your comments below, tell me what you think. And there are three major times actually, when the brain is developing at a faster pace. One is when the child is a baby, which I guess is obvious. One, I believe, is around about the age of 7, and the other is when the child hits puberty. So there are chances for change, there are chances for development, chances to make new positive pathways in the brain. So teenage is a really good time for that. The vision for a fresh start and something different and new, and you could then be part of that. They are able to reason through the commitment that you've given them. So if they're old enough, I guess they're able to think about what adoption really means in its entirety, and the level of acceptance and unconditional love. And so if they begin to accept you too, then that feeling that they are all embraced within the family could be very powerful for them and very powerful for you. Something quite amazing actually could happen. Anything that has presented itself as a younger child that people have said, oh no, they might grow out of that, or that could just be due to trauma, because they're older, you are going to be able to see the patterns of development that have or are there, and you're going to be able to seek professional help for them, because by that stage they're probably not going to go away. Blossoming into adulthood is a really lovely time. I've had 5 birth children. The 2 adopted boys I have at the moment are 11 and 12 nearly, so we're about to hit puberty with them. The types of things that you can help them with are obviously their issues of rejections, in terms of allowing them to open up when they feel ready. Now, teenagers do struggle to open up, but what I found, having had my 5 birth children, is that they will open up when they're ready. It's just you have to pick the right time, and that's not going to be when they're busy doing something. It's likely to be when you're busy doing something. It could be when you're cooking a tea, driving the car, but they do open up, and you just have to be ready for that. Issues of identity is really critical for them and really confusing for them, because where does their identity lie? Does it lie in the past with birth family? Does it lie with foster family even? Does it lie with you? And what parts of the identity do they want to carry with them? What type parts do they want to leave behind? Because some children do want to leave behind a lot, and some children want to carry stuff with them. So it's helping them to work out the bits they want to keep, the bits they just don't want to keep, how they want to keep contact with birth family, foster family in the future. All of those things are wrapped up in identity, and it's a massive area, but it's one that I'm sure that you will work through with them. And then of course there's the issues of self-worth, which can affect teenagers quite a lot anyway, I think, as they're trying to work out how they want to look, who they want to mix with, and you will be helping them to understand, by having their own space, some maybe responsibilities for themselves and chores that you give them, helping them to identify what types of clothing they want to buy, how they want to look, and to nurture them with self-care, just to make sure that they are presenting themselves in an acceptable way. And then you are going to be able to give them the chance of having some affection, real affection, that can only really be found in a family, where you are going to be able to move on to hugs, hopefully, and being able to hold them. This probably won't happen to start with, but over time, and be able to laugh and joke about things and spend fun time together, showing them how natural affection happens in families, because they may not actually have ever received that, or they may. It depends. Protection issues, which are quite tough these days, so making sure that they understand what's safe online, making sure they understand sort of safe dating, safe sex, and all of the things that come around sexuality and social media. That is tough, but it has to be done, and I'm sure there are many resources out there to help you. And then of course there's their future. Depending on their development levels, are they going to be able to live independently? Are you going to have to seek out help for them if they can't? And what's their future career, relationships going to look like, and how can you help them to get there? And I actually think that's quite fun, helping them, supporting them to be able to think about how they're going to live independently and how they're going to make their way in life is an important part of their journey. Older children and teenagers could be incredibly rewarding if you're prepared to put yourself out there and you're prepared to consider all the things that I've said in the beginning of the video and then you've got all the positive things that you can do and support and how to be with them toward the end of the video. It may be that an older child is not for you, but I hope that the video has helped you to at least consider whether an older child could be for you. And if you've enjoyed my video, then please take the time to subscribe. Check out my other playlists. There's playlists on bonding and attachment, adoption and parenting, adoption choices, adoption topics, and many more. And look forward to seeing you on another video.